The sun is meant to be seen, meant to lead, meant to shine, meant to express. Leo tends to love to be on stage, to be the leader, to be theatrical, to express themselves. My name is Aleena and welcome to Promethea Astrology. I am the astrologer for creatives and change makers with the Physics PS from Yale. Today we're talking about Leo, and particularly Leo sun, moon, and rising, and what that means. So this is a part of a series that I'm doing on the Zodiac and its qualities. So if you want to get into astrology in a way that is not just based on your personal experience and stereotypes that you've made based on your interactions with Leo people, then the way that you do that is by connecting your delineations, the things that you say about these signs, to their core qualities and the things that they are sort of composed of. So each zodiac sign has a planetary ruler, quadruplicity, triplicity, gender, and symbol. So Leo is fixed fire, ruled by the sun, masculine, and the lion. So I've already made videos about the sun, the fixed signs, and the fire signs, and gender. So I would recommend that you watch those videos if you want to really understand Leo deeply and completely. So in this video, I'll be tying all of that together more briefly and also connecting it to the symbol more so, and also the season and the body part that is associated with that zodiac sign as well. So Leo, fixed fire. Leo is the king, the archetype of the king. The sun is meant to be seen, meant to lead, meant to shine, meant to express. Leo tends to love to be on stage, to be the leader, to be theatrical, to express themselves. They tend to love compliments and flattery. You know, the king needs to be praised. We need to bring alms to the king. The king is almost divine in some ways, and this just divine right to kingship, if you think about the very ancient origins of some of these symbols. So Leo needs to express itself and to shine. That is what the sun does. And this is a beautiful superpower. I know that sometimes there can be sort of these stereotypes that humility is a virtue and we should be small and humble, and that also has its time and place and everything as well. But to need validation, to be able to be seen, to be able to lead and be big and bold and loud and audacious and fully unapologetically yourself is also such a superpower that the world also needs. And your light is important, and all of our lights and the selfhood. But this is just something that Leo tends to be stronger with, and usually, unless there's some maybe square opposition from Saturn or Mars or something to whatever your Leo placement is, usually Leo has an easier time with that ability to be seen and express oneself. The sun is the archetype of the self. It is the king, but also the ego. So on the shadow side, sometimes Leo can lean into a little bit of narcissism, a little bit of self-centeredness, a little bit of maybe too much of self-focus and not as much focus on the collective or other people. It's good to be aware of both the positive and challenging manifestations of each of these symbols. And all of us are many different things. So you're not just Leo. Even if you have a Leo sun, you still have other planets, other placements, other signs that are part of your chart. And all of these are archetypes. No human can be an archetype. An archetype is an abstraction, a perfect idealization of a type of energy. So we are all multifaceted human beings. Just disclaimer there. So fixed fire. Fixed tends to have lots of integrity, the staying power. I think of Leo as the candle holding the flame, the energy solid. Leo is also ruling the heart. The body part associated with Leo is the heart, which translates into Leo being generally a sign with a lot of integrity, a lot of heartfelt conviction. And also when you identify yourself or introduce yourself, you tend to point to your heart. You say, my name is Aleena. When we're pointing to ourselves, we tend to point to our heart. The heart is also center of the self in a way. Loyalty also tends to be really important to Leo as the king, also the lion. Lion is king of the animal kingdom in the jungle there. So just this beautiful mane, oftentimes too, hair can be important for Leo. If you think about the lion and the image, the impression, you know, a lion is beautiful and majestic and strong and powerful, and the head of things, the leader, top predator, apex. This is the nature of fire signs in a way as well, having all of that energy and drive and passion and self-expression. But then with Leo being the lion, it just creates this even more kind of regal feeling to it. And so Leo is the middle of summer as well. This is the brightest time of year, a time of joy, a time of being outside, getting out into the world, quite an extroverted time. And fire signs are a little bit more extroverted. They are bright and shining and need to be seen and have this self energy. So it does align very nicely with that middle of summer energy as well. Just having a good time, being playful. Lion is a cat. Cats love to play and just have a good time and be authentic and earnest. Those are also some qualities of Leo. They tend to be quite transparent. They're not going to try to fool you or trick you. The integrity, the earnestness, the heartfelt nature of Leo is quite honest and transparent, and integrity is important to them. So it will be really important to reconcile your ability to be perceived and how people perceive you. Oftentimes this is not something that Leo struggles so much, but if you are someone with maybe some challenging aspects to your Leo placement, some wounding around your Leo energy, then it could be a situation where maybe you feel like you shouldn't be seen. Maybe you've been shamed for your desire to be seen in the center of attention. It will be important, if that is you in the case, to reconcile, to recover, to overcome whatever those challenges have been to the point where you are able to be seen and to be in your full self energy and express. This is a core part of Leo's development, which again for many will not be an issue, but for some it will be. So Leo, sun, moon, and rising. Leo, sun. Leo is ruled by the sun. So when the sun is in Leo, the king is in his kingdom. This is going to be just a really even more exaggerated version of everything that I've just described. This is the strongest place for the sun, the strongest, most leadership, self-expressing, on the stage, center of attention, able to really shine in who you are. And the sun is also the ego, the persona, the qualities inherited from the father. So this could be someone whose father was a quite strong leader, maybe quite a character, charismatic, or on the shadow side, maybe a father who was a little bit narcissistic sometimes, or the way that you experienced your father's fathering could be kind of that king energy and having maybe that authority over you or something like that could be another way that might look. And then for a Leo moon to have the archetype of the mother, the moon in the place of the king. So this will be probably just extremely queenly energy. The archetype of the queen is Leo moon. And it will be extremely important for you probably to receive validation. That'll be the way that you feel safe and nourished and supported. And you may need to work on your ability to validate yourself and to give yourself that nurturance that you need. And a Leo moon may be less inclined to be on the public stage. Sometimes the moons are more private parts of self, the way that you are in private settings, not so much the way people know you, especially if you have a day chart. Although if you have a night chart, this could be the opposite. You might identify more with the Leo moon and may be more comfortable being seen, especially if the moon was overhead at night at the time of your birth. But if you were born during the day and maybe the moon was below the horizon, then you might feel like being the queen in your own home, or maybe embodying this energy amongst family or friends or loved ones, but not so much out in the world as much. And the moon is more of the physical body, and so this might be someone who really takes great care in their appearance, to be expressing themselves fully in their fashion, in their style, in the way they present themselves in their body in this more material, physical way. Whereas maybe a Leo sun might be more inclined to speak or bring forth ideas that are their original ideas, or maybe more in a collective leadership way. But a Leo moon is probably going to have very earnest emotions, heartfelt integrity, loyalty to their loved ones, and for the sun as well. But because the moon is more related to the emotions and sometimes how you show up in private settings and with your loved ones, it'll be potentially even more of that emotional integrity, stability, conviction, loyalty. I'm here because I want to be with you. I'm here for you. That type of thing. Because the moon is also the way that we nurture others and show up. So that can be showing up with great loyalty for a Leo moon. And I find that a Leo rising now is very different than a Leo sun or moon and does not carry the same kind of stereotypes. So if you have Leo rising, then sun sign will be extremely important for you, and you will basically just be the king version of whatever your sun sign is. So if you have Leo rising and a Gemini sun, then you are King Gemini. If you have Leo rising and a Scorpio sun, then you are King Scorpio. So it really just takes that sun sign energy, and that becomes the variation of the Leo rising that you are. So there's 12 different iterations of Leo rising based on the sun sign and the placement of the sun. So if you have Leo rising, it will be extremely important to understand your sun sign and the way that it functions and what it needs and that source of vitality, because that is essentially the planet that will represent who you are in your totality. The rising sign, if you're Leo rising, both things that I've said about the sun and the moon will apply to you, but it's the totality of who you are. It's both mind, body, soul, everything. It's who you are underneath it all. But the type of Leo rising and specific variation and energy that you have with it will be the sun sign. And so it'll be just extremely important to know and understand deeply that sun sign, because that is essentially what indicates who you are and also your life direction and purpose and what you are growing into and fulfilling. And that is your archetypal essence. That is how we figure out what you really need to be supported and shine fully and actualize your full potential, will be that sun sign energy. And so the Leo risings often don't really look like Leo as much. Like a Leo sun will probably be the fullest, most exaggerated version of a Leo, because the sun literally rules Leo. But a Leo rising will probably look a lot more like their sun sign because of the sun ruling Leo. And so if the sun is not in Leo but a different place and you instead have Leo rising, then that sun sign will be much more important. So I think that's all that I'll say about Leo for now. Please do watch my video on the sun, on the fixed signs, on the fire signs, on gender, if you want to really understand deeply and completely what Leo is and means and where those meanings come from in an ancient archetypal sense. And also, if you do have a Leo placement, please let us know in the comments. What is your Leo placement? How did this manifest for you? Did this resonate? Did it not? Is there anything I missed that you think I should add? Please tell us. You are the authority on Leo. If you have these Leo placements, we can all learn from you. So please do share. And if you would like to talk to me one-on-one, I would love nothing more than to do that with you. I am a consulting astrologer, and you can book a reading with me in the link in the description. We can discuss who you are, how to activate your potential, what is your purpose, and also if you get the 90-minute reading, we can talk about your timing, what's coming up in the future for you, what you can expect when there might be peaks in your career and different things like that. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions, and please do like, subscribe, share if you got any value from this, or you think someone else might, or if you just want to support my work. Thank you so much for being here.